Welcome everybody, this is Paul Dolsky, and tonight we have a special guest that had seen some mysterious lights back in 1997. You may know this event, but I just wanted to give you a quick little rundown here before we start the show that you probably have just noticed that this is called Beyond Haunted Vermont. That is right. We are now starting a whole segment about things that go bump in the night beyond the Green Mountain. So Beyond Haunted Vermont is for those that are outside the state of Vermont that would love to share their stories, and we'd probably like to share our favorites that are outside the Green Mountain state. So, if you have a story that you would like to share with us that is awesome and bizarre, get a hold of us today and let your story be heard. Welcome everybody, welcome to the segment Beyond Haunted Vermont. My name is Paul Dolsky, and joining us is a team member of the very close friends of mine from the Paranormal Investigators of New England, Pine for short. But with us today is Massachusetts member Roz Verone. Welcome
Hello.
aboard.
Thank you. Nice to be here. Thank you,
Thank
Paul.
you. Yeah, thank you. Apparently you have a story that you would like to share with us. So before we get started, what kind of got you into the paranormal to begin with, and then joining up with Pine?
Sure. I've always had weird kind of experiences ever since I was really little. Pretty much after my grandmother died, like she died on my birthday a long time ago, 1985. And ever since the day she died, I had an experience. Like I just knew that she had passed away that day. And she lived in New York, and I was in Arizona at the time. And so ever since then, I kind of decided that I was intrigued. I mean, I used to do all sorts of weird things like write her letters and hope that she would respond, but just all sorts of weird things happened ever since then. And then what got me really intrigued was when I stayed at the Stanley Hotel. Um, and I was like, okay, now I'm like, what happened? Like, what did I experience? Like, was that real, or was that people in the hotel? Like, what happened? So then I decided to keep kind of searching for a group, and found found my family, and that's where I've just been active with them, and I really love them, and it's really been exciting, like certain things that I've found and seen and investigated. And I'm just like, wow, I don't think what I experienced at the Stanley Hotel was just people in the hotel. I think it was other things in the hotel that I can't explain. So,
Yeah, Stanley Hotel is quite famous for a lot of things, and it's hard to really begin of what it could have been. So yeah.
yeah, yep. That was the one time. I usually don't get frightened by anything, but that was the one time I had to put the sheets over my head, and I was like, I am not moving. Please do not look. Keep your eyes closed, kind of thing. So,
Okay, so now you're making me wonder what happened. Was it like a loud bang, or
oh no.
like?
Well, you could hear kids running up and down the hotel hallway. And we had just come back from like an investigation. And it was late. We came in the room, and it sounded like somebody had actually put their hotel key, like, the little key cards, into our hotel door, like slipped it, came into the room, walked into the room, and I was like, holy crap, do not look. Like somebody's in our room, went and looked over my bed. And like usually it just did not feel like a good vibe of whoever was coming into our room to look at me over sleeping in the bed. Like I just did not get a good feeling about it.
Oh man.
And then
Yeah.
it just kind of left, like went
Hmm.
away. So whatever was there, I was like, I really did not. It did not have a good feeling. I was like, please do not look, do not look, do not look, do not look, do not look. And even it was my ex-husband at the time, and he was like, he was saying the same thing. He's like, just don't look, just keep your eyes closed, pretend you're sleeping, pretend you're sleeping. I was like, okay, okay, okay. So he was feeling this, and he doesn't believe in that stuff. So he was feeling the exact same thing I was feeling.
Huh. He doesn't believe in it, but he was feeling the exact same thing. I love those
Yes.
type of people.
And I still blame the Stanley Hotel for the reason why we're divorced. So
Oh no.
yeah. Like,
Well,
who knows? You never know. But
yeah,
we're
exactly. I was gonna
exactly.
say, did you look into it more to maybe like what the room number you stayed in to maybe, I don't know, see if you could unravel anything?
I took a picture of it, and it was not one of the scary floors. It was one underneath it. But I mean, you could
Okay.
see they say every floor has activity all the
Oh yeah.
time, and they said the things that I was experiencing, like it was the kids that they say kind of run around. Um, I mean, there's just so many weird things that were going on. We heard like a kid's squeaky toy, like in the middle of the night, like all sorts of weird stuff that I can't even, to
You
this
can't
day, I'm
even
just like,
fracture.
yeah, I'm like, what the hell was that? um, yeah, I don't know. Even areas that they say is highly haunted that we kind of went on the investigation, I didn't feel anything. It was
Hmm.
just in my room for some reason. So it was really weird.
It is weird. Yeah, usually, I don't know. I mean, I haven't really had that sort of thing happen yet myself, but all I can think of is maybe something happened within regarding that room that you were staying in, but hard to say.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, we had an experience in like during the investigation, in the concert hall and stuff, like just little things that happen, but nothing like I can explain with the room. That was really something else.
Hmm. I'm just
So
wondering during the time too, did the room act like it was getting colder or anything?
I don't
I'm just
even
curious.
remember because I was so amped up, um, that I don't remember how I felt, like how the weather, like I don't remember the
Yep.
cold. I just felt like so panicked, like I was having a severe panic attack at that moment because of
Ooh.
whatever was coming into the room, that I was like, oh my god, we are going. I was like freaking out. Like I've dealt with all sorts of weird paranormal stuff, and I was like,
Mhm.
that was really, really such a scary moment. And I'll never forget, like the next morning, I think, we were going to go shower, and I was like, yep, I'm not showering, I'm not going to be in that bathroom alone, nope, please do not leave me alone in here.
Yeah, I
So
don't blame you there.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
So
All right.
I still, to this day, I can remember happening like it was yesterday. And I still look to the sky every day to see if I can still see the exact same thing that I saw. And everyone still thinks I'm freaking nuts. And I'm like, I know what I saw. And it's all over the news too, because everyone saw the exact same thing I saw. Um, but this happened so as I said, I grew up in Arizona.
Mhm.
And so I was home from spring break, and it was in March sometime. And back then they didn't have everything built up. It was all like kind of Native American reservations. And
Mm.
so I was driving home, and I was in the middle of like the desert, these Native American reservations, driving home, and you have to look at these mountains in order. That was how I navigated to get home, was to look at these mountains. They're called South Mountain. And they used to have like these little lights on top, and it was a legend that it spells love. They're like little antenna kind of things, and it spells love when they blink. And so that's how I knew how to get home was through these antennas. So it was pitch black. I was looking at the antennas to get home, and I noticed them blinking. And then all of a sudden, I noticed these weird, like the stars weren't doing like they're normally doing. These weird, like it looked like kind of like the pattern of a stealth bomber, but it was not a stealth bomber. They look like kind of like a triangle light, and they're just sitting there for a while. And it just did not look like normal something that I would see in my normal Arizona sky. And they just sat there for a while. And I was like, okay. And I pulled over because they were not moving and they weren't doing anything different. They were just sitting there. And I was like, this is really weird. And then I noticed a lot of other cars were pulled over just to look at these lights. So I wasn't the only one. And I just remember being really freaked out. And at the same time, I was listening to like a new Tool song that was on the radio. So I was like, this is really weird. Um, I just remember getting an uneasy feeling, like looking at these, and then all of a sudden they kind of just vanished, like gone. Um,
Huh.
and
Yeah.
so, and I've like drove as fast as I could home. Looked at my like we had a deck at home, went on top of the deck to like kind of see if they came back. Was like sitting there looking forever. And I remember for the rest of spring break, every night with my friends looking out at the stars to see if things would ever come back. Until this day, I still look at the stars, like I was saying, to see if this thing ever comes back. I've never seen it again. That was the only time I've ever seen it. And they're still in the newspapers, and it was all over the TV reporting, and everyone in Arizona saw these lights. So everyone's kind of reporting that maybe it was something at Area 51. Some people were reporting that it was some sort of military airplane or something, but everyone's saying it was not any of those things. And so it's been like kind of a question as to what everyone saw. And so that's considered a UFO, like an unidentified object. Nobody knows what we saw. So,
Right.
and I just remember, like I said, seeing this, and I was like, what the hell? I really thought we were like going to be, I hate to say it, but blown up. Like I thought this thing was gonna blow us up. I was like, I mean, I
Oh
watch all
boy.
sorts of horror film movies and all sorts of stuff. So I was like, what the hell are we doing? And I was in the middle of a desert. I'm like, oh my god, by myself. So I was like, what the hell? I'm like, I'm like, great. So but yeah, so that's my story.
Oh wow. Well, I mean, thank God we didn't get like Mars attacks or something like
Yeah.
that. So,
Yes.
but
But
anyway,
that's my
no, I
favorite
had.
movie. I love that movie because of that. Because
I
of
love
that.
that movie too.
Yes.
It's a good one. Or like, so I had something similar. What to this day I still can't figure out if it was a drone or UFO, UAP, whatever you want to call it. It was just so weird though, because it was back when I was doing traffic control, and I happened to look up at in the sky, and it was like a clear blue sky, no clouds at all, and it was like a black dot, and it just stayed there stationary for the longest time. And then like we even left to go to lunch, and we came back and that damn thing was still there in the sky, and I'm like, what the hell? And so I tried radioing my partner at the time to see if he could see it. He couldn't see it. So I basically said, well, when we get a break or something, or get a chance, when we get a chance to like, get together, if it's still there, I will do my best to point at it. So we finally finish up the job, I think it was, and we had a second to get together. And as soon as we got together, the weirdest thing happened is as soon as I pointed at it, that's when it took off.
Interesting.
But yeah, so the reason why I say it was a drone, I'm not sure, because I mean I did try to do some research because um, I wanted to know like how long a drone at that time could last in the air, and a battery life for a drone for back in 2008, 2009. I can't exactly remember what year it is, but I keep wanting to say 2009. But basically, I read a drone can be up in the air for anywhere between 35 minutes to like 2.5 hours, depending on the battery. This thing was there for more than 2.5 hours. The only thing I can't vouch on is when we did take that lunch break, did it go back somewhere to change battery and then come back, but it was in the exact same spot. So that's the only thing that confuses me. But at the same time, either way you look at it, it probably was there more than 2.5 hours. But that was my little experience that I had here. So
Wow, that's so interesting. It's
it
so
really
interesting.
is.
It really is. I know. I was watching Unsolved Mysteries, and I was hearing about the stories in like the Great Barrington area and all that stuff, like in Massachusetts. And I'm like, I mean, I was like, oh, this can't. This that didn't happen back in the 50s or 60s. And I'm like, why am I questioning these people? I'm like, I'm like, you never know. You never know what happened.
Yep.
I mean,
I
it's
think one of
crazy
my
stuff.
yeah, going back to what you were saying about lights, one of my other favorites is the Phoenix Light story. That one.
Hmm.
I like that one too.
Yeah, well, that's what it was. It was the Phoenix Light story.
Oh, that's
That's
what it
what I.
was.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I saw.
Oh,
And I'm
Jesus.
still like, oh my God. But some people are still saying it was a hoax, or they're still saying, oh, it was a military plane. I'm like, this was not a hoax, and it was not a military plane. And they're still questioning. And some people are like, oh, yeah, military's come back. And there's like been all sorts of research, and there's been all sorts of questions. I'm like, if it was a military plane, most military planes want, even if they're testing, they want to fly low and they don't have
Yeah.
lights on like that. Like, why would they be testing a plane with lights on? They want to keep it like it was pitch black over a mountain. Like, they wouldn't want to scare people, but they want to keep it like what's it called? They want to, they're trying to test the plane
Right, right, right.
and keep it
But
like quiet. So I don't know. I still have no idea.
speaking of keeping it quiet, I mean, it's not like when you were seeing the Arizona Light then, yeah, the Phoenix Lights, it wasn't like you were hearing anything too. Like people have said, like there's not, there wasn't any sound to them at all. And God, what was the other? I'm trying to remember everybody's account because that whole thing is cool. But
Yeah.
um, yeah, it was almost like they were trying to determine if it was reflecting off something, what it was reflecting. And I think somebody was trying to say, like you were saying with the light there,
Hmm.
um, like it was somehow reflecting off the mountain or something. Like it was
Yep. That's what, and I'm like, there's no way because those lights are red, and so there's no way that it could reflect off. Like what? There's no way. Like, so to me, the pattern looked like a stealth bomber, but stealth bombers, they fly like it looked like the Batmobile or something pattern, but they fly so low, they fly quietly, and they don't have. Why would they put their lights on?
right.
That's where I'm like, why would they do that? I still haven't. I've been questioning that every single day. Every time I see the stealth bomber now, I'm like, I cover my head. I'm like, oh my God, are they come? So I'm like, I sit there and say that to myself every day. Why would the stealth bomber want to be flying like that over a mountain? And they fly. They don't just sit there and stay in the sky. Just sit there. And that's
Right.
exactly what these lights are doing.
I can't call myself an expert in this subject at all, but I can say this. I mean, there's definitely something out there, and
Yeah.
everybody obviously knows there's cover-ups about it and everything else. But yeah,
And if you
wow.
talk to people, most people saw it in Phoenix. I mean, we were all, because I was in the desert. I was in the middle, like I said, I was in the middle of nowhere driving home, and everyone pulled over to see this. And we were all like, what the hell is this? Like, we were all like freaked. We were freaked out.
Oh yeah.
And thank God other people were there. And I don't know who the hell they are, but whatever. Um, things were normal back then. But I, yeah, we all saw it, and everyone back in that time, well, I couldn't say probably saw it, but they don't like to talk about it
Nope.
because
Nope. They don't.
they think they're crazy. People will be like, ah, yeah, we saw it, but it was nothing or whatever. But I'm like, I know that was nothing, not nothing. That was something because they freaked the hell out of me, whatever that was. And if that was something, a military plane or whatever those balloons are, whatever, it wouldn't have freaked me out like that.
Right. Right. No, I totally understand you. I wouldn't even know how I would have responded to seeing something like that. But then again, Um, I mean, it would only take that one day for me to see these type of crazy lights like that, just to have my own experience, I guess, to really fully understand what you're kind of
Yeah.
feeling. Whereas I just saw something weird, like a black dot, which I just want to go back to that real quick. So anyway, I
Mhm.
had that in the back of my head for a while, and I never really shared that because obviously I don't know if it was a UAP, UFO, drone, kind of like you. People think I'm gonna be cuckoo that I can't identify a drone or something. But so anyway, I'm listening to this other podcast, and this, at the time the podcast was doing like a call in, and this guy called from Connecticut, and he describes seeing like a black dot in the air, and the only difference is his vanished. Mine actually shifted, like moved, like as soon as I pointed at it. But his like completely vanished in the sky. But he described it just like I would describe in mine, just like a black dot.
Hmm. That's so interesting. That's really
Yes.
interesting.
So that kind of reminded me of my experience, kind of questioning it again, like, maybe I did see something. So maybe I'm
Yeah.
not too crazy, but I don't know. I don't have
That's,
the answers. I know you don't, and hopefully one day the quote experts, I hope, can give us a more detailed everything.
I know. Well, I just look at the skies, like I said now, and I always wonder if I'll ever see those lights again. But I'm like, there has to be more because this. I mean, look at all those stars. I'm like, there has to be more out there. So I'm like, that's kind of weird, but you never know.
Well, I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, they are out there. It's just a matter of when you're going to see it again. Really,
Yeah, I know. So I'm like, I don't know if I want to see that again. I don't know.
I don't know if I want to see something like the Phoenix Lights again. That's for sure.
I
But
know.
I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing something like the Black Dot again, just to kind of maybe have a different experience that time or
Yeah,
this time again. But yeah, that'd be the only way I would want it. I don't need no mothership to come down.
I know. That's. I know those. That would be interesting with the Mars attack, little guys.
Exactly. uh, but alrighty. Well, Roz, I appreciate your time.
Yeah, it was nice to meet you, Paul.
Yeah, for sure. And if you, I guess, ever come up around our area, we'll have to see what you capture around here or something or whatever, especially
Yeah.
with Wilson Castle or something, because I
Yeah, I'm
know
going
that
to
seemed like.
be. Yeah, I'll be in Wilson Castle actually a couple weeks. In 2 weeks, I'll be up there. So,
Oh, very nice.
yeah, I'll
I
let you
love that
know.
place.
It's pretty interesting. I'll let you know what we find.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. Well,
All
for
right.
everybody else listening, like I always say, in this case, keep your eyes on the sky because you just never know if you're going to see a UFO, a UAP, or some weird light.